How it's like studying Japanese? Is it difficult?
I think it's super hard.
I wasn't expecting it to be so easy to talk to Japanese people.
So that's one of the reasons why I can speak Japanese.
Hey guys, I'm Yusuke from Japan. Today I'm gonna interview foreigners in Japan about how to learn Japanese. On my channel, I interview Japanese people and foreigners in Japan to show real Japanese culture and life. So if you haven't followed my channel, please do it. Okay, let's get started. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from America,
America?
Yeah.
Oh, which part?
California.
We're French.
I'm from Sweden.
From Chile, South America.
How long have you been in Japan?
So I've been here for 14 years. Yeah.
Almost a year now? Yeah.
I've been here now for 5 years.
3 months.
I want you to introduce yourself in Japanese.
はじめまして皆さん、名前はヴィンセントです。出身がスウェーデン、今27歳。日本の素敵なところを毎日エンジョイしてます。
皆さんはじめまして、ユニと申します。フランス人ですけど、フランスと韓国のハーフですけど、フランスに生まれて、フランスにも育って、日本に留学してるので。
はい、はじめまして。私はフランス人のアルエスと申します。日本の文化に本当に興味があるから、大阪に留学します。
はじめまして、私のアルバロです。私はチリ出身です。私は少し日本語を話せます。
What brought you to Japan?
Because I was working in Australia, so I work doing massage. So all my coworkers they are from Japan. So I try to study every day Japanese.
I came for work originally, as an English teacher.
What do you do now?
I work in translation.
So we studied in France. We studied Japanese and Japanese culture and Japanese literature. So for our university, we did an exchange.
Why are you interested in Japanese culture?
I really love Japanese literature, and I also like the folklore history, like all of the history of yokai. So like this part of Japan I'm really interested of, and I always wanted to do research and also like learn new languages. So that was like kind of the opportunity for me.
For me, it's more like I was watching anime and Japanese movies and reading manga since I was young. And I'm really interested in learning the original language of media so I can read it in its original language and understand it. So I really wanted to learn Japanese to understand the movies I was watching better.
I started watching anime when I was maybe 14 years old, and that's when I got kind of interested in like Japan and Japanese. Then I came to Japan as a student and studied for 2 years, and I've worked here for 3 years.
Is that hard to study Japanese? What do you think?
Yes, of course. Of course. I think it's super hard to learn Japanese. Yeah.
How did you learn?
So when I moved to Japan, I lived in Wakayama. So in Wakayama, not so many people speak English. I had to learn Japanese, right? Tried to talk with friends? Studying by myself, reading books, or not reading books, but like
교과서.
Yeah. Jishu.
How long it took to get fluent Japanese?
I think a long time. I don't know,
time.
maybe like I felt okay after 5 years
5 years?
in Japan.
ノミニケーション。こんな風に日本人と喋って飲みながら、勉強した。でもその学校で文法とかさ単語勉強して、でその後は例えば夕方の8時から朝の6時までお酒飲んで日本人と遊んで、だから言うてさ会話練習として10時間とかぐらいにちゃう。そう毎日してで含めたらもう1週間でなんか50時間ぐらいはずっとナチュラルな感じで喋ったり間違ったり注意されたりとかさ、そうだから日本人とめちゃくちゃ喋ってたくさん日本語を聞いてのが一番大事だと思う、教科書より。僕もなんかその同じ学校の友達が中国人でみんなテストとかめっちゃうまかったけど、その日本人友達が全くおらんくて、でそれでなんか2年とか勉強してももう100点満点ずっとできたのに全く会話できなかった。僕の反対、めっちゃ喋れたけどテストの点数が微妙。
Sometimes it's difficult, but if you study like 1 hour or 2 hours per day, it's not difficult, brother. So good people from Japan, they are so nice. I love this country, bro.
What you struggle the most?
So before now,
Yeah.
it was the visa, because the type of visa you have limits the type of work you can do. So at first I had a teaching visa, so I could only teach English, but I wanted to do other things, but I couldn't because of my visa. So that was difficult. But eventually I got permanent residence, Ejukan. So now I have Ejukan, so I can do whatever I want, which is great. But it's very hard to get Ejukan, right? You have to live and work for 10 years before you can get Ejukan. So that was hard.
I don't know if it's like bad because like that's not really comparable for me between France and Japan, but I experienced being a woman in France and being a woman in Japan very differently.
Okay.
I appreciated a lot the safety in Japan, like the fact that I'm really carefree about like going like alone on like walks at night, for example. However, I think that the whole culture in general and the way you are perceived as a young woman by also older people
Yeah.
can feel disturbing, and even though some people will not like directly come to you, you can feel very uncomfortable just by the atmosphere sometimes. That was something I never experienced in France, I think, because in France it would be like very direct. That was a little bit uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can like confuse that for like you don't know the intentions of people, so you kind of like guessing is it okay or not. Or,
Yeah.
that was a little bit confusing for me.
What struggle?
Yeah.
Where should I start? Like language, culture, everything. Because Japan is like a country that unless you get really good at Japanese, it's gonna be very hard to enter it. So the better your Japanese is, the more you'll be like getting closer to Japan. So if your Japanese is very, very good, you're gonna get very close to like the best kind of experience. But if your Japanese is limited, you're gonna struggle a lot. Whether it's with like the bank or the post office or the paperwork or communication barrier when you're seeing like girls or boys. So many things. I could talk for maybe 15 minutes about all the difficult things. Low salaries.
For the moment, no, I don't have problem. I can find community here. See, always when, for example, when I say sumimasen, michi ni mayoimashita, koko ni kitai desu, people always try to help you or walk with you, so the place and show you the place. So it's really nice. So the community here is so good.
What's your worst experience in Japan?
So I have only experienced real like racism towards foreigners once in 5 years, but I had been in Japan for maybe 3 months, and I had made some like Japanese friends. I only had Japanese friends in the beginning, so that's one of the reasons why I can speak Japanese. But I was at this bar with a lot of like rich people, and they're like Momina no dai-senpai was there, and for some reason he just absolutely hated me. He was like so angry and like screaming for no reason. In the West, it would usually have been a fight, you know, at that point. And my visa was just like a student visa, so I couldn't do anything. And that's also when I realized that a lot of my Japanese friends were just fake friend yatta kekkyoku. Sorry, in my country, if someone was like being attacked and like harassed and humiliated by older people, if you're friends, you would stop and be like, hey, you know, you would help your friend. But none of them helped me, and I even like apologized, but he was just super angry.
Oh yeah.
So I lost a little bit of faith in my Japanese friends. Tough experience, but now if that happens, it's gonna be a different situation because I can speak for myself. So Japanese is super important.
I think before came to Japan, you have some image about Japan, but what's better than your expectation?
For me, maybe I don't know if it's Japan in general or just Osaka, but it's really I wasn't expecting it to be so easy to talk to Japanese people. Like even like I don't speak Japanese very well, but like when I came here, I wasn't expecting it to have conversations with Japanese people so easily. I thought there would be like a much bigger language barrier and everything. So it was very super easy for me, especially here in Osaka, to talk to people outside in shops or even at school super easily, and that was kind of what I didn't expect, I guess.
There are so many amazing things I've had happen to me in Japan. So many small things too, like when I was really poor, when I was a student, for example, I had to go home and it was in the middle of the night and I could only go home by taxi. And then I told the taxi driver, I said to him, look, I only have 2,000 yen. I want you to take me to 2,000 yen exactly, but I don't have any more money, so don't drive more because I can't pay you. And then he ended up driving me all the way home. So it was like, maybe it would have been 3,000, but he was like, it's okay with 2,000. So he paid because he felt bad for me not being able to get home. And it happened like 3-4 times where the taxi drivers in Osaka helped me out.
Can you imagine yourself living in Japan in the future?
Yes and no. I am definitely planning on spending like the next couple of years of my life here. I really do love Japan and I love living here, and I do want to live here like in the future. The thing is, like, living in Japan like for the rest of my life would also imply that I would like give up on the rights that my French identity card allows me to have. So like, I don't know, like social security, even like hospital that is like free, or like university is also free in France. I don't know, it's two very different countries and I have a lot of history with both of them. So I'm guessing I'm just gonna like have fun here for the next couple of years and then see what happens for me.
For me, on the long run, I wouldn't see myself living here. My plan for the next few years is to come back in a few years just for 1 year again. But working culture of Japan does not appeal to me a lot, and definitely love like kind of going between both and like working with Japanese people or like having relationship with Japanese people. But I wouldn't see myself living here forever. I think there are a lot of things in France or in Europe in general that I'm very attached to. So
I love living in Japan.
Okay.
Well, I'm from California. So of course California is very beautiful.
Yeah.
I love California, but almost impossible to live there unless you make a lot of money. So here, I don't make so much money, but I can have a good life. So I love that. People are nice. I love Osaka.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching so far. I hope you enjoyed the video. About interview, I so much respect the foreigner who learn Japanese because it's so different from English. If you like the video, please press the like button. Please share your experience learning language. See you next time.